Hello everyone, this is Charting Man Dan and Chart Guys Jason here joining you. Jason is usually behind the curtain and behind the scenes helping us out, but he is going to join us today to talk a little about the alert system. It is the end of 2017 here, just a couple days left, and we're going to start doing a monthly update for the alert system and just give a little bit of feedback as to what our favorite alerts are, how to best utilize the system, and some developments that we're looking forward to in the future. So Jason, why don't you take it away and give us some examples on how to set up the alert system?
Sure. Thanks, Dan. So I don't do many videos, so this should be interesting for me. I'm usually behind the scenes, as Dan mentioned, working on all the cool little projects and helping people in the chat room and running things behind the scenes. But I want to walk through, probably first the best thing to do is just walk through how we actually set up alerts, because a lot of people have questions about when they join, they don't get any alerts, and then need to basically tell us what to send them. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to look at the alert system from the eyes of someone who has just joined. And you can see up here, we haven't added any alerts. So when you first join the system, you really got to tell us what coins you want, what exchanges you're on, and then we can start sending you some cool stuff. So the very first thing we got to do is we need to add an alert. So we got a big green button here. We just pick whatever exchange we want, we hit GDAX, and we can pick from any of the coins listed here, any of the pairs. So today I'm going to get some alerts for Ethereum versus the dollar on GDAX, and then I get to pick from all of these alerts down here. My favorite alerts, because I'm always on the computer, always in the chat room helping, I like to use basically an hourly RSI, and I combine that with a 15-minute price shear. And what that does is it lets me find longer-term oversold or overbought conditions, and then the price shear alerts me when I'm not paying attention to when significant action's taking place. So when I see a good price shear, let's say I see a price shear oversold, and then I get a 15-minute bull break price shear, I know that there's going to be quite a bit of volatility and a lot of upside room without it getting too overbought too quickly. So that's a good way to jump in to a trade that way. So once we've set up our specific alerts, all we got to do is scroll down, we hit save, and then that alert now lives in our console. If we want to set up another one, we just go through the same process. We can pick another exchange. Let's do Bcash on Bitfinex, and let's go with a RSI 15. And I don't know, let's call TCG cross hourly. Save that alert. Now each alert that we set up gets listed on the side here, and we can cycle through all of our alerts to see what conditions we have configured for each. And if you ever need to change those, you can just scroll down here, hit edit, and you can add or remove however you like to do it. Commit your changes, and then
So what if we have what if it's the middle of the night and we just had a nice date night with the missus and we don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night? Is there any way to shut off these alerts?
First of all, you're a crypto trader, so you probably don't have date nights. But if you ever did need to shut them off, there's a couple ways you could do it. There's a pause button down here that lets you stop and start your alerts for specific coins. And if you really just don't want to be bothered at night, you can go up to your account settings and you can edit your account and pick a time where you don't want to get any alerts. So this is basically like a snooze button, where if you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock and not receive any notifications and have your phone blow up, we won't send you anything between those times that you specify. So that's really the two ways to do it. We're working on a master button that just stops everything. That will be in one of the new releases. Currently, the easiest way is just to pause individual alerts or just set up a snooze, and you won't get any notifications.
Very good. So let's go over a couple of the lesser known indicators. We have the TCG cross, we have the death cross, and we have psychological levels. Why don't you explain what the TCG cross is and how it can be utilized?
Okay, sure. Let's take a look. I got a chart set up because I knew we were going to talk about this, at least, the TCG cross. So the TCG cross we've done videos on before, and it was developed, it sounds very complex. It's not that complex, but it was developed in the laboratory by ChartGuys James. And it's one of his favorite things, and he's used it with great success in trading commodities. And James heads up our commodities room over in TheChartGuys. But we've adapted that, and we've used it a lot for finding really good day trade opportunities inside the crypto world as well. So it's no secret what the TCG cross is. It's just an 8 EMA and a 4 EMA. And when you apply those on any time frame, it shows you really good opportunities for jumping in and out and showing short-term trends. So I've got the TCG cross up here on my Bitcoin Cash chart on the 50-minute time frame, and we can see that we've got a couple of major crossovers where the TCG cross indicates that the trend is changing overall. So you could enter short positions on the bear breaks, so the TCG cross bear break, and they're relatively reliable. They show some changes down here. We get a little bit of noise where you get these crossovers back and forth. The alert system actually is built in the fashion that it will filter out these sort of crosses. So you would have received a bear cross at this point, and then at 12 UTC, you would receive a bull cross. You would receive no notifications from this noise here, and that bull cross would carry you all the way up to about 1,800 hours on the UTC.
So essentially, it's a bit like a MACD, but a fast-moving MACD, in the same way that the MACD gives a signal with a bull cross or a bear cross, but it's a much more lagging indicator. Because these are exponential moving averages, they're really up to speed and factor in the current price action a lot more. That's correct, right?
Right. Yeah, and it's a lot easier to see. I like having all of my drawings and all of my indicators right on the price screen. Like what you're looking at now is what I trade with, and I don't even like having these TCG crosses up there. I'll go close them out now, just draw in my levels manually. But it's comparable to the MACD cross. It uses a lot of the same theories. But if you want to see your indicators on the screen when you have your price levels and you don't want to switch back and forth and add a lot of clutter to your chart, this works really well. And I find the TCG cross works a lot more efficiently for day trading opportunities on shorter time frames as well.
So another question we get a lot of the time is with the golden cross and the death cross. People get that alert when it seems like action's going in the opposite direction, and it can be a bit confusing. Why don't you clarify that a little bit?
Okay. So the biggest thing with the death cross and the golden cross, I think a lot of people who are in crypto aren't familiar with these indicators in particular, and they are utilized a lot in trading stocks and commodities because they show very, very long-term trends. Most of the indicators that we use, like the price shear or the TCG cross or even MACD, uses really short time frames, 8, 12, 20. I think the largest we use is 22 on one of our calculations. The death cross and the golden cross uses a 200 period and a 50 period moving average for its calculation. So there's a lot of data there, and it can look a little bit confusing when you see an instance where you get a death cross and you look at the chart and you can see that your stock or your crypto is on a bull rally. So when we're looking at our death cross and our golden cross, we need to keep in mind that it's taking into account a lot of data. So this is our death cross and golden cross scenario. So if I can scroll back all the way to find the origin of our initial golden cross, we can see that occurred way back on December 16th. So this is the point at which you would receive a 1-hour golden cross alert. This alert would be indicating that the price has changed. It used to be pretty bearish, but now we're in a positive uptrend, and it's a solid positive uptrend. We've been here for a while, and it's going to probably continue for a while. So we get in on this bull break, we get in on this golden cross. It carries us all the way up to December 20th. So 4 days of solid hourly activity. We see a bear cross, and then that confirms with several days taking us right to where we are now, where we get that bearish activity. So it's really like a really macro level, things are good, things are bad perspective. Now where it gets confusing and what probably someone was asking about was something like this condition here, where they get a golden cross signal at this point, and then they look at the chart and it's dumping down. So the reason that we get those conditions is that, overall, for the last 200 periods, we've been moving in a positive direction. So we're going to get that golden cross. And we're going to get that golden cross, but the activity itself on the smaller time frame, so this is just 1 hour's data versus the last 200 hours of data, is going to show some bearish activity. So it's a macro level thing. It's more of a big picture, pay attention to this general trend. But you can still get these instances where you have a golden cross, which is a generally bullish indicator, but get into a scenario where you're dumping down a little bit.
So it would be fair to say that it is more suitable for longer term time frames and perhaps swing traders rather than shorter term and day traders.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good setup to let you know, like long term, what's happening. So if we look at the 4 hour golden cross, death cross alert, we've been golden, as you know, for a very, very long time. Now, this goes all the way back to mid-October. And we're getting close on the 4 hour to a death cross. So what that says to someone who is swing trading and gets that alert, maybe they're not paying very much attention to their holdings or anything at all. It tells them that we've been very bullish, but we're now in a period, at the very least, we're in a period of consolidation.
Very good. So that's a point I want to make where a lot of people ask questions, what time frame should I use? So, people open up the alert system and they see all these coins and exchanges and alerts, and it could seem a little overwhelming, but it's easy to narrow it down. First off, what exchange are you trading on? Second off, what coins are you interested in? And then from there, if you're a day trader, you're looking at 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly, and maybe even 4 hour. And if you're a swing trader, you're looking at 4 hour and daily and the longer term time frame. So first off, you need to ask yourself, do you want to be day trading or do you want to be longer term swing trading in terms of which time frame of alerts you're focusing on? So that's a way to distinguish between day traders and swing traders as to where you're focused. And as for the alerts, again, like we said, some are more suitable for longer term than others, like that death cross, whereas the TCG cross using the exponential moving averages is more suitable for day traders. And another thing I want to point out just on the website for the alert system, that if you scroll down at the bottom of the page, there's an indicators button, and if you click that, it will pull up a bunch of videos that explain, little short videos that explain how to use these indicators essentially. So inside bar and RSI, price shear, all of those things. If you're looking for more information, that's where they can be found. And this website right now is really just our minimum viable product. We just wanted to put it out there and have it accessible for everybody. And we're really working on upgrading not only the alert system in terms of optimization and adding different indicators and coins and exchanges, but also we're going to revamp the website itself and have a much better flow and much better look at things. So I want to touch on what I like best in terms of the alert system, and that is going to be on Bitcoin here. I'm looking at the inside bar, and if you've been watching the videos that I put out daily, you know that I'm talking about inside bars all the time because of the indications that they give. And my favorite time frames for them is the hourly time frame, the 4 hour time frame, and the daily time frame. So here's an example of Bitcoin where we had a bounce, and then this morning we had a pullback, and then we had a 4 hour inside bar form. And when we saw a bull break occur, that happened at 14,600. So as soon as 14,600 breaks, you get the inside bar alert fired off, and you make an entry. And from there, it goes from 14,600, and a couple hours later, it's up $270. So that's a nice 1.8% move or so. And while it didn't, see a significant breakout, you can combine it with your other technical analysis knowledge. So I would look at this chart and I would say, okay, we're likely to start forming a 4 hour equilibrium pattern on this bounce. So even after we get the bull break, I know that if we don't break this other resistance of 15,100, that we're likely going to form a lower high and continue to consolidate. So the alert system and the inside bar is not just a buy and blindly just hope. You obviously need to have some foundation of technical analysis, and that's where our free educational videos on the YouTube channel or our course go in depth into the foundations of technical analysis, so you can combine that knowledge with these alert system alerts just to get the maximum bang for your buck, so to speak. So I see this 4-hour equilibrium pattern setting up, and I say to myself, if we're forming a 4-hour equilibrium pattern, that means we're forming an inside bar on a more macro time frame somewhere. So I zoom to the daily chart, and I can see, there we go, an inside bar. And Bitcoin just had an inside bar on the daily time frame that broke bullish just 4 days ago and saw very significant follow through for the 2 days following it. So the bull break here was at 14,774, and 2 days later we're up at 16,490. So that's a much more significant move. And the time frame for the inside bar that the signal lasts is the duration of the time frame that you're on. So if you get an inside bar bull break on the 4-hour time frame, you're looking for that to last 4 hours, and on the daily you're looking for it to last the daily time frame. So that's why I like it on the longer term time frames more, because it gives more follow through in terms of the signal. And of course, my other favorite indicators are the MACD on the 4-hour time frame. Again, if you've watched the videos, that MACD, the bull cross on the 4-hour time frame, has given really good indications of longer term patterns. And Ethereum just had one this morning, and I got into Ethereum early this morning because of that, and already took my profit on this trade. But the 4-hour bull MACD cross on Ethereum occurred, and we saw a nice new leg to the upside and a bull flag continuation pattern on this 4-hour time frame. So my favorites are price shear, RSI, inside bars, and then the longer term MACD. And for the price shear, what I use is I use it in conjunction with the RSI, where if I get a bearish price shear alert and then an oversold RSI alert on a short-term time frame, this is Ethereum on the 15-minute time frame, that tells me that we just saw a dump and we entered oversold conditions. So I know that if we see a bounce begin to play out, there's going to be a lack of resistance, and we're going to see some decent-sized bounce because we are just coming off of a flush. And in the opposite scenario, if I get a bullish break on a price shear, not only is it a good entry signal, but it also tells us, if I get an overbought RSI indication at the same time, it tells me to be cautious that we're likely to see some profit taking. If we're not in all-time highs, that overbought RSI is definitely worth paying attention to. So not only can this alert system tell us, when's a good entry, but it can also tell us when to start looking to take some profit, or when to, move up a stop loss and protect our trade a little bit better if we do enter these overbought conditions. So those are my favorite for using these alert systems. And really, I turn them off when I'm sitting in front of my computer most of the time, because I am only watching the big three that I'm trading. This is ideal to have on for really people that are working during the day and aren't able to stare at the charts, people that are sleeping and want to not have to wake up. For a while, I was waking up every 2 hours back in the summer, literally just to look at the chart and see what the setup was and see if there was a trade. So we created this system out of necessity as traders ourselves, to not have to live under these conditions. And for people that have a job and want to take their eyes off the screen, it lets you know when there's setups abound. And also for people that are trading a lot of altcoins, if you have so many different charts you want to be keeping an eye on and you can't do that, if you set up these alerts for a bunch of altcoins, you'll certainly get all these signals when they start firing off. So certainly a very fun project that we have been working on, and we're focusing all kinds of attention and resources to continuing to work with this project, and really excited for the future of 2018. You want to touch on some future developments that we have headed our way as you are manning the station in terms of managing the developers we've got going now?
Yeah. Well, you were talking about your favorite alerts, and I forgot to mention some of my favorites, and these are in beta testing, so you probably haven't even had a chance to play with them, Dan. But we've been working on a lot of alerts that we have in progress that I have access to, and they are a lot of fun. So I'll go over a few of them, because we're going to be putting them out probably in the next few weeks, or at least next month. My favorite right now, we're building a bot radar, which basically everyone's seen on the order book, especially on the American Exchange DEX, where you have these bots that are coming in, they're buying the same amount of Bitcoin every 10 seconds for an hour. Or on Litecoin, you see one coming in buying 7.6483 Bitcoins every 24 seconds on the dot. So what we've done is we've come up with a system that scans that order book, and it takes a look at all of the patterns and all of the different purchases that are being made, and it highlights situations where you get these bots that are coming in at certain times and picking up currencies or stocks at those levels. So if you're trading and you get a bot alert that this crazy Litecoin bot is buying up 10 Litecoins at a time, it really gives you an idea that maybe not people think it's a good opportunity, but that there's algorithms out there that are in action that are betting on a bull break. So it gives you an idea of what's happening mathematically in the market. So the bot radar is really cool. I'm really enjoying watching the bots in action, and I'll leave you with this. I had no idea that there were so many bots out there, so many different ones that we're picking up, and they're all working against each other, with each other, and people like you and me, we just sort of trade in their shadow, and it's only going to become more of an issue, I guess, as these algorithmic traders start coming into cryptocurrencies. We're already seeing them, so the bot alert is going to help you a lot, in the sense that you need to know if you're trading against people or if you're trading against machines. Some other indicators, we are working on a lot of volume-based indicators. We've got alerts that are giving alerts for abnormal volume, climax indicators on dumps or bull rallies for exit and entry opportunities. We've got breakout indicators, which are a little bit different than the price shears. We've got some indicators we're developing for oversold bounce opportunities, which I know you love a lot. We are also trying to come up with calculations for equilibriums, psychological break indicators. We've got a basic one of those already, but we're trying to improve as always. We've got double tops and bottoms. We've got a whole list of really cool stuff coming up the pipes for.
Awesome. And we also got a name change in the works, but haven't settled on that just yet, but certainly going to be changing the domain and building the brand a bit in terms of a recognizable name. Rather than going off the TheChartGuys name, we're going to spin off alerts and have it be its own animal and run wild. So thanks for all the updates. Certainly looking forward to 2018. Going to be a lot of fun. And again, this is just a dream in terms of the kind of project that a trader can work on. Because not only are we trying to help other people, we're trying to help ourselves and give us the tool that can have us be our best trader. So I appreciate. Go ahead. Okay, go for it.
Mentioned, we built the alert system under the TheChartGuys domain. It was really our tool for us and our members, and we have a lot of people from stocks and commodities and a lot of people from crypto. So we ended up having to build it as a separate entity under a subdomain. And this thing has just taken off so well. It's just, I couldn't anticipate the feedback that we've gotten and the interest that we've gotten. So we've decided to break it off into another project, as Dan said. But as part of that, we've hired a team of developers. We're working on creating a whole new interface for it, which is going to give people the opportunity to see their alerts visually, to have a chart. We're going to be using the TradingView API library, so you have charts that you're familiar with, and you're going to be able to pick your ticker, you're going to be able to pick your coin, whatever you want to look at, see that chart, and you're going to be able to see the alerts that you specify visually on the chart, and to be able to flip through each of those coins, take a look at price shears. You may not even need to see it sent to your phone. It's going to be popped right up, populated to your chart, giving you the best time to make your own decisions about trading. And the bot radar is going to be there. All of our volume-based indicators are going to be there, and it's all
awesome. Looking forward to that as well. And one final note: Jason is not homeless. He's working on an office in the middle of the winter, building that out. But a trooper for joining us in sub-freezing temperatures.
Heater, and it is insulated. But we are literally so busy with all of this stuff that putting drywall up is.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you tuning in and look forward to doing these updates about once a month. And I hope you have a happy new year. And we will see you soon.